Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of
Haunted America.
On today's episode, we have a story sent in by one of you, more specifically, Tanya Meyer. And this story is named
The Stairs.
That plus our reactions on today's episode of
Haunted America.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Haunted America. Before we get into today's episode, I need to tell you guys about another podcast I've been listening to lately. They mostly pod out at night. Mostly. Join your hosts, Salem and Graveyard, as they delve into the underbelly of the horror world. They recap, review, and deconstruct horror movies. From cult classics to fan favorites, to the depths of the low-budget barrel. They'll wade through it all to find those worthy of your time and those better flushed away. The episodes drop weekly and usually revolve around themes both seasonal and abstract, but always have horror in mind. The same hosts also have another podcast,
Conversations in the Void. Join Graveyard and his off-screen producer, Salem, for a live interview show that touches on all things horror, interviewing a wide variety of guests, from classic actors to writers to special effects coordinators, and even the next generation of horror film creators just starting out. Graveyard asks those hard-hitting questions and finds out what they are up to in the present, with a healthy dose of history for context. Join us every Wednesday night for another brand new episode.
And now, let's get into Haunted America. So like we said, this story is called The Stairs, sent in by one of our listeners, Tanya Meyer, to our email. And if you yourself would like to email us one of your stories, you can do so by sending that message at hauntedamericapodcast@gmail.com. Hauntedamericapodcast@gmail.com. I was thinking about if I should spell it out or not. But it's kind of self-explanatory, right? Haunted America is the name of the podcast, and then
Haunted America Podcast.
Just at the end, at gmail.com.
It's pretty simple.
So do like Tanya did and send it in.
She figured it out.
Yeah, we'll get into it. Hi, I recently came across your podcast and love it, but I need to tell you my story. I'm living in Cape Town and worked for a civil engineering company. With that, I got to travel a lot. So this one project had me on the road for about 5 hours. So since we had to be there at 6 a.m., I told my team we can leave about 10 p.m. and take a nap before we start the day. I had never experienced anything like this in my life before, and for the last 8 years, it's still very fresh in my memory. After we got on site, it was around 4:15 a.m., and everyone was sleeping in the truck. My two colleagues, Sharon and Andre, were awake with me. As I was about to get out, I realized the door couldn't open, which was strange. So Andre got out and opened it for me. Suddenly, I felt nauseous. Andre asked me what was wrong, and I couldn't give him an answer because it felt like I'm going to do the... Huh?
Do the nasty?
Okay. Oh.
Do the nasty once I open my mouth.
Andre asked me what was wrong, and I couldn't give him an answer because it felt like I'm going to do the nasty once I puke.
She's going to throw up.
Throw up. Throw up. Sorry about it.
Interesting way to word that. Okay.
For some reason, I moved towards the road and stood there for a minute. I felt sick and I was getting worse. I looked around and couldn't see much, but I knew I'm in the countryside and there's nothing but trees and farms around us.
Suddenly, Andre tells me, I'm going back to the truck. I didn't bother to ask him why, since my stomach is doing all sorts of backflips. Then I heard it. Someone was running towards me, since I'm the only one standing in the middle of the road. I tried to adjust my eyes, but failed, and Andre shouted from the truck to move my butt, as in now. I didn't wait for another invitation. As I was about to get inside, I looked up and saw a dark figure pass us, but then it stopped and came towards us. I froze. I'm standing with the door open, but couldn't move a muscle, and here he was, right next to me. I could make out he was wearing a blue jacket and a white shirt underneath. He greets me very politely, and I greeted him back. While he was talking, I'm busy observing his sharp facial features, which is very clear now in the moonlight, and my stomach is as wild as a tornado. Andre and Sharon is quiet in the back and doesn't make a sound. The man asked me another question. Are you picking up the school kids? I told him, no, sir, I'm sorry, we aren't, and the same moment I looked into his eyes, he just walked away. He had no eyes. There was black holes, yes, that I know for a fact, but when he walked away, I noticed something. I don't hear his footsteps, and my tummy is calming down. We are parked on dry grass and gravel, so how is that possible? The moment he was out of sight, Andre grabbed me by the collar and pulled me in, screaming, "What the hell is wrong with you? You guys have been staring at each other for more than 5 minutes without saying a single word." Andre was wrong. They argued with me for about 20 minutes, but I knew I spoke to that person.
So the day I started, eventually, and eventually, since I was on private grounds, no traffic made it difficult to work until one truck stopped around 4 p.m. A friendly old chap with his driver. I asked him, where does this road lead? And he laughed. Nowhere, my dear. This area here is the very first graveyard. What? You guys are surrounded by old graves, and I'm talking about hundreds of them. Here's no soul for another 50 or 60 miles. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
My smile faded, and I told him it can't be because I spoke to a man this morning. The old chap went as white as snow, and I knew I terrified him. He looked at me and gave me the exact same description of the man, white shirt underneath and a blue jacket. He took a deep breath, looked at me straight in the eye, and said, I was a scholar, and one morning on this very road it was raining, and that man came running towards the bus.
The road was very bad, and the driver lost control of the
bus.
Of the bus. Every child on that bus heard the impact when the bus knocked him and felt how it drove over him, ever since he was spotted or heard running. I lost my dear friend Andre not long after this incident. Keep up the good podcast. I honestly love it.
What the heck?
All right, deconstruction time. You know they have a cough button for that usually. That's not it.
No, that's not it. All right. So this man, this entity that you encountered, if I'm reading this right and I'm understanding this right, is the man that the guy you ran into at the end of the story saw get ran over and felt get run over.
Okay.
So, well, if that's all true, you definitely you talked to a spirit. He asked the spirit when he came up to you, asked if you were there to pick up the children.
That's creepy.
Very creepy. What were you doing out there in the middle of nowhere? I guess. What do you do for work? Why are you in a graveyard? What the heck?
So the thing that really gets me here is she's talking to this entity, whatever, but her friends are saying you've just been staring at each other for 20 minutes, not saying a word.
Or they said 5 minutes.
Whatever.
Said
5
yeah.
minutes, okay.
You guys have been staring at each other for more than 5 minutes without saying a word.
They argued for 20 minutes, okay.
Yeah, but Andre was wrong. They argued with me for about 20 minutes because I knew I spoke to that person.
That's like an out of time.
Yeah,
thing.
it's like like everything paused for you while you spoke to this entity, but your friends just saw you kind of sitting there staring off into whatever.
And the first graveyard, that part, that's interesting too.
You're surrounded by old graves. I'm talking about 100 of them. I don't know. Are you like, is she around like the first known ever graveyard type thing?
I want to know where she's from because the use of the word chap, I'm thinking this is European.
Well, no. Hold on, because I think she says it. Cape Town.
Cape Town.
Cape Town, isn't that like New England up there?
God.
Right?
Yeah, we're a professional podcast, people.
Yeah, we got this.
We're saying that again. Cape.
Oh, Cape Town, South Africa.
Oh, okay. Well,
Cape Town is the capital of South Africa, according to Google.
so not quite Europe, but still explains Jap. So,
Okay, let's look this up here. Okay, just bear with us, people. We're doing research on the fly. First graveyard in Cape Town, South Africa. Tanabar Cemetery is what popped up first on Google. I don't know, established in 1804 in Bo Kap, Cape Town. You know, this is supposed to be Haunted America, and we're talking about South Africa grave stuff.
Hey, don't discriminate.
Ah, come on. Okay, this is very interesting.
Yeah,
I would like
there's
a
a lot.
follow up with maybe a little more information. We can maybe do like a part 2 where we go back over this story with a little more information, because this is.
So go back up.
Have you gone back to this place since? Have you worked in this place since? Tell me when to stop scrolling back.
No, go back down a little bit. So, okay, so 4:15 a.m. Everyone's sleeping in the truck.
Colleagues Sharon and Andre.
Sharon and Andre are awake. She's about to get out because she's going to puke. Right?
No, she's about to get out, I guess, to start working, which was realized the door couldn't open, which felt strange. And then as she's trying to open the door, suddenly she felt nauseous.
Okay, got it. Where are you working? Are you working in a graveyard? No.
What were you guys doing out there? I don't know how to go on with this story. Like, what? I have so many questions.
Tanya, we need a follow up.
Did your boss not tell you where you were going?
Right.
Does your boss know of this entity being struck by a truck and haunting these grounds?
Well, and then the second time she ends up on the road, they're like, "What are you doing here?" Like, this is just graveyards.
Yeah, okay, so they started with private grounds, no traffic, made it difficult to work. Why did no traffic make it difficult to work? Until one truck stopped around 4 p.m., asked him, where does this road lead? And he laughed, nowhere. This area here is the first graveyard.
So a random dude drove by, and it happened to be someone that saw this guy get run over.
Saw this guy get ran over when he was back in school. He gave the same description of the man, white shirt underneath and blue jacket, took a deep breath, told me straight in the eye, said, I was a scholar, and one morning on this very road it was raining, and that man came running towards the bus.
What?
The road was very bad. The driver lost control of the bus, and every child on there heard the impact when the bus knocked him and felt how it ran him over.
Okay, so maybe he didn't see it happen, but maybe he knew about it.
No, it sounds like he was on the bus.
I was a scholar.
Yeah, meaning he was in school. Remember,
Right,
this
right.
Cape Town talk.
We got to think South Africa. Yeah. It's a wild story.
I have so many more questions.
Yeah.
Tanya, email us back.
Yeah, please.
Some more info. We will make a part 2 if anybody else is interested in it.
100%.
I want more info here.
Yeah.
Have you ever gone back to this place? What do you do for work? Why were you out there? Why did your boss send you out in the middle of nowhere?
Were you supposed to be there, or did you just end up there?
No, because it says after we got to the site. So they were going to a site. Was it like a construction site or something?
Right. A construction site in a graveyard?
You guys are building on top of graves? Because that doesn't sound right. And this was 8 years ago. So what is this graveyard now? Like, is this developed land in Cape Town now? Or what is this? A civil engineering company. That probably would have helped us out a little bit.
Yeah.
Huh? Yeah, we sound stupid now.
Okay.
Worked for a civil engineering company.
We're great. We pay attention all the time.
We just got to go back over and read it more.
Yeah. This is my first time reading it.
I still have questions. I would like more information.
Absolutely.
And then we can read back over this again and go off the more information that hopefully they send us in. And maybe we can make a part 2.
I mean, the nausea that comes on right before the encounter.
That's definitely the spirit putting himself onto you so
Yeah.
you can feel his energy, and your body just took it as feeling nauseous.
Right.
So there's that.
And
That
he had no eyes. He had no eyes.
just a spirit with no eyes. I mean, it's not. I've heard of that before.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean the guy is evil. Or the
No.
spirit you're feeling is evil. And maybe you just encountered his residual energy. Maybe that's what he was doing when he ran out to the bus and got ran over. Maybe that's what he was trying to ask, but instead he got ran over. You know what I mean? Maybe he was trying to ask, hey, are you here to pick up the kids?
Right. But yeah,
And then his energy just showed up again doing...
because it's residual.
Yeah, I don't know. I would like a follow-up
We
email
definitely need
with some
more.
more information.
We definitely need more, Tanya. Please. Good story, though.
So that is all we have for today's episode of Haunted America. That episode was The Stairs, America's Encounters / Cape Town, South Africa. I don't know. I thought you were going to say something.
I was trying to think of something, but you know.
All right. If you yourself would like to send in a story to us to have read out loud and discussed upon on the podcast, send us an email at hauntedamericapodcast@gmail.com. hauntedamericapodcast@gmail.com. That is all for today. And we'll catch you guys on the next episode of
Haunted America.